Alright, we've got things running pretty decently besides the idle, which I got to tweak a little bit. And of course I'm mixing E70 with E90, so we're having a few fueling changes. She's doing pretty good. She does not like she doesn't like closed loop. Closed loop is pretty bad for her right now because of that gnarly exhaust leak I got on the driver's side. But everything seems to be working how it needs to. It loves that belt. It definitely loves the belt. So what we're going to go ahead and do is dial this thing in on E70 the rest of the way, and then go ahead and send it. Got an E90, E85, E70 tune, and we'll also have some flexibility there as soon as we get the exhaust leak fixed, which hopefully my exhaust guy will come through and I can get that done this weekend. We're trying to get this car 100% by the end of this week. So we're out here just getting things in. We're gonna see what kind of pull we can make. Oh yeah, she's rolling. Oh yeah, she does pretty good. Seeing about, hard to see, maybe about 8 pounds of boost. Seems to be about the average there, but she feels damn good. She feels damn good. It's getting a little lean up at the top, so we're gonna have to richen that up. I need to look at the mass airflow curves and tables, see that I'm not running out of fuel, but everything's pulling well. We're having some cutout issues due to fuel level. First we thought it was spark plugs, but once it hits a half tank, things get funny. Of course, as they advise you, never race on like below a half tank, but there's that little dead space in there for it, which is showing that we were okay on fuel, but it was actually a little lower than it appeared, which is a thing with these gas gauges sometimes, you know. We're gonna get a little cruise in here, see what we're doing on vacuum and air fuel ratio. Vac and air fuel ratio look pretty good. We're gonna turn around for another pull here. So we gonna pull up here, and we're gonna do a number 1 pull. We're running on E90 right now, so E90 definitely makes things a little more lean than the average day, which is why we're trying to get stuff out here. So let's see what we get for a full out pull. Yeah, we're definitely getting lean up top, so we're gonna pull out of things, and we're gonna see if we can try to add more fuel to this thing. What's going on, guys? So as you know, we finished the Kenne supercharger on the 98 Cobra. What I have here is an aeromotive fuel regulator. It's an external fuel regulator because the primary regulator that you use on the fuel rail can only be a stock one. So we had to put another one in line so we could ramp up the fuel pressure to about 60 psi. What I did here, I got a selection of 6 AN lines with an adapter for the stock fuel rail. This is the junction side, and then one side will go to the regulator, and then one side with a Russell adapter that goes to the fuel rail. And of course we want 60 psi to increase the boiling point of the fuel, and also to increase the range that the injectors will go for safety purposes when under boost. Of course, you guys know that we had this stuff set up for a while, and we look forward to covering installing it and getting it running. Alright guys, so it took us a while to get to this point. Finally what I did is install those fuel lines. Since Kenne Bell's supercharger doesn't have clearance for an on-rail fuel line, on the return line what we went ahead and did is add a 6 AN to an aeromotive regulator. I've got that regulator dialed in at, bam, 60 psi. A lot better than the 39 psi we were running. That'll give us more injector duration and time. I've got that line returning down here, so it's working pretty good, and we just wanted to line everything out the rest of the way. If you listen, she's idling perfect. All I got to do is dial in the tune, the injector duty cycle, and you can just hear her purr away. Sounds great. That next step, we'll dial that in and do some data logs to make sure everything else on the fuel trims looks in line, and hell, we're gonna send it.